I'm going to teach you a simple tapping routine which makes up EFT, which is one of the therapies that I've been using for a little while now, and I've been using with some of the youth groups I work with, and it's worked for me personally and some of the clients that I've been working with. So if I can do this digitally and teach you a little bit, then hopefully it's going to work for you too. Now, fortunately, in the last few years, we've been able to scientifically map how our energy meridians work, and how the meridian pathways are like a superhighway, a bit like a fibre optic superhighway, which carry our electrical impulses around our body. And we have also, through the use of lots of very historic pieces of scientific research, which were kind of not really paid much attention to, but now been brought back up into the open, about the mind-body connection. In particular, Dr. Candice Pert, who was the original person who actually scientifically discovered the mind-body connection and challenged the medical profession into thinking a little bit more about the root cause of things, rather than just working on the physical symptoms and uncovering the story that we tell ourselves and tell other people, finding out what's actually causing it. It's usually in the brain, and looking at thought processes and how your psychology becomes your biology. Once you do that and uncover the truth that's going on in your operating system, in your subconscious, then you can find ways to block those neural pathways and to redirect the energy, and that's how you really come to do some really significant healing, and you can get out of the old systems that you were in, and really there's some amazing sort of miraculous spontaneous remissions that have happened throughout the years, which have been put down to this kind of therapy where the neural pathways are blocked and everything's just redirected, and then the symptoms alleviate themselves. So it's all about getting into that Eastern philosophy of looking at the root cause, not chopping your head off like a lot of Western medicine does, putting a band-aid over a physical symptom, medicating it, but not actually dealing with the cause. So this is what I want to do with you, is to try and look at the cause. And Dr. Pert didn't actually get recognised for her discovery, which is a real tragedy. And she did later on, but it took her a while because her boss actually took the credit for it, which is a little bit naughty. But I'm really glad that before she passed away, she managed to get the recognition that she deserved. And if you want to look her up, Dr. Candice Pert, you'll see a lot of her work, and there's some audio and some books which are really useful in gaining an insight and understanding. So by interrupting the specific points at where the electrical circuits and the flow of energy, or chi, is blocked or disrupted, you can tap on certain areas, release that blockage and redirect the energy flow. And this has some really quite profound results, so it's something you can practice daily. I'm going to take you through the process. So I'm going to do one of the EFT patterns that I really find quite useful for me. Please feel free to get on Google, have a little look on YouTube, see if there's anything there that works for you, because there's lots of different ones out there, lots of practitioners. It's something that you need to find one that works for you. Don't just trust my word for it. This is something that works for me. I hope it helps you. If it doesn't, don't just write it off. Have a look out there and see if there's something that really kind of works for you. So I want you to think about scoring this feeling when it comes to you, and just remember back to the last time you felt it. Where did you feel it in your body? How uncomfortable does it make you feel? And just have a little think for a second and just bring that state back. And I want you to score it. And I want you to score it on a scale where we're going between -10 and +10. So if you think of -10 as being the worst you've ever felt it. 0, yeah, fine, nothing, neither one nor the other. And 10 is no, I don't feel it at all, I feel amazing, it's the best I've ever felt. And just give it a score somewhere between those two extremes. Now, most of the time, if somebody's looking to do EFT, they're really sort of feeling something they want to get rid of, so it's likely to be at the bottom end of the scale somewhere. So just make a note of that and write it down on your piece of paper, on your journal, so that we can keep an eye on how that moves. Okay, once you've done that and we've set up your statement, we're going to use this point on your non-dominant hand. So you're going to tap with the hand that you write with, your dominant hand, 2 fingers, put them on top of each other or side by side. And you're going to start by setting up your statements in between your wrist and this knuckle here, so somewhere in the middle. It's called the karate chop point. And all you're going to do is tap while repeating the statement. Okay, so even though I've been feeling anxious, I still completely and truly love and accept myself. Okay, as simple as that. That's you setting up for your tapping sequence. So you've acknowledged what's going on, but you've also acknowledged that you actually, even though you're going through this and you've been through it before, you still love and accept yourself completely. Okay, your brain's now gone, oh, okay, all right, okay, I get that. Now we need to do something else with it. So I want you to follow along this sequence with me, and we're going to do a shortened version. And you can stick with exactly the same shortened version, or you can tweak it as you go around. I like to change the statement to each tapping point, so it's something that's relevant to me, and it just, what I feel at the time will come to my mind. So I'll tap with a slightly different short sentence relating to how I feel about the situation. Some people will pick just a completely shortened version of their setup sentence and repeat the same thing over and over again. Whatever feels right for you. I'm going to start on top of the head. Okay? So you're going to tap 5 to 7 times. I've been feeling really anxious. And then you're going to go to the inner eyebrow, just on the bone there, not in the middle, just on the bone. Been feeling so overwhelmed lately. And you're going to go to the outer corner of your eyebrow. Feel so stressed. And you're going to tap just underneath your eye on the bone. Been feeling so much anxiety lately. Then between your nose and your upper lip, right in the middle. It's just all been too much for me. Then between your lower lip and your chin, right in the centre there. Been feeling so much anxiety all the time lately. Okay, and now I'm going to move slightly so you can see on your collarbone. This is a really powerful area for me, so I don't know whether you want to try it specifically. If I haven't got time, I can just go to this area because it seems to help me free up anxiety straight away. And on your collarbone, you can use your knuckle or you can use your fingers. Specific points are right in the indents there, so on one or the other of those bones where they sort of jut out a little bit, and that's where you'll tap. I've been feeling so anxious lately. Okay. And then there's a point just under your arm, which is usually where your bra strap is, ladies or fellas, you just have to kind of find it there. Been feeling very anxious. Okay, now you can move on to your fingers. So the inner corner of your thumb, you're just going to tap. I'm feeling very overwhelmed. I'm feeling so stressed out. I'm feeling a lot of anxiety. I feel so anxious. Really been struggling with anxiety. Now as you finish that, I just want you to have a little think about where you want to score yourself now. Has it come down a little bit? Just by desensitising yourself a little bit and interrupting the flow while you're reaffirming how you've been feeling, should have started to bring that actual sensation down a little bit. So what you want to do is you want to keep repeating the tapping until you can bring it down, and what you really want to try and do is get yourself from that -10 zone or wherever you were on that scale up towards the 0 so that you actually, I don't really feel it very much now. Seem to have tapped it away. Seem to be starting to reprogramming a little bit, and your brain will start to respond to this. So when you get towards that zone, what I'd like you then to do is I'd like you to start tapping and do another sequence in a more positive way. So I'd like you to feel like you can make your shorter statements slightly different and towards the more positive emotions. So that should start to reprogram your subconscious mind from the anxious stage into something more positive. So I'll give you an example. We'll start on the head again. Oh, I don't feel as anxious anymore. I'm actually feeling quite calm now. Feeling a lot more balanced. I don't feel anywhere near as much pressure as I did before. My anxiety's definitely gone away. I'm feeling so calm. I don't feel stressed in the slightest. My anxiety is definitely eased off. I don't feel anxious at all, actually. All my stress has just melted away. Feeling really chilled now. Actually feeling quite happy, motivated. All my anxiety is melted away now. Okay? and just keep that process going until you can build it up and up and up. And if you want to do 1 round of negatives and 1 round of positives, if you haven't got too much time, that's fine. Sometimes I'll do that. Sometimes it's enough for me just to tap and acknowledge and put my small statement in without having to do anything else. But I can really feel the instant difference when I interrupt those energy points and put the positive statements back in. I can actually feel the fact that my brain is going, yeah, you do feel good. No, you don't feel anxious at all, actually. So it's thinking about getting that 5% that you do have control of, that 5% consciousness, getting it in the driving seat, even for a small amount of time, by focusing, becoming mindful, finding the ways that you can tap into your operating system. And that's all it is. You're trying to get into the control system. You're trying to get into the control panel. You're trying to find out where the viruses are that are affecting your computer, and you're looking to uninstall them and crack on with installing some positive programs.